Okay, so Stella's right here, so I've got it turned funky. Um, and I'm already uncomfortable. I am so uncomfortable right now, like with my joints and stuff. Like it's weird. Like you could just be sitting here and you could have your finger bent for a couple minutes doing something, and all of a sudden your finger, it feels like it's gonna fall off or something. I don't know how to explain some of this stuff because I don't know what is really being interfered with. It is so trippy too, because I'm really stuck on the, how do they affect things without us knowing it? Like they can affect our health by poisoning us and we don't even realize it and we're not even real. So how, you know what I'm saying? And so that just really trips me out. And I think it is a part of it's part of the game. It's part of the template kind of thing. They've shown me some really cool stuff, but there's been so much. I'm telling you, there's so much. Like, I feel so when I start, it's like, oh my God, where am I going with this? What am I going to be talking about? So I just start talking. So, the weather had a big change over here. Oh yeah, I wanted to say about my hair too, because it's so weird. Like I'll be sitting here all day long and I'll be like, oh my God, my hair is just so dirty. It just feels so dirty. And then I'll go in and look. And like I said, this thing shines. And so I think this light makes it look oilier sometimes than what it really is. If I look at like my hair like this, like it doesn't look oily at all. And if I go in the mirror and look, it doesn't have this light reflecting, so it also doesn't look as much. But it definitely looks, well, it looks darker, I think. But if I was out in the sun, I think it would still look, because my hair is dirty blonde. But it has gotten darker over time. But then I've got this other part that's just going totally lighter. So, so the other day, whatever it was, I don't remember if it was yesterday or what, when I said I was going to do that wash. Oh yeah, because I said how long I left it on and whatnot yesterday, I think. And so I did that wash. And so then I was just like, man, did it even wash anything off of my hair? It seems like it's just heavily coated. And keep in mind the sebum, from what I understand from the stuff I've seen people sharing, that the sebum, when you first stop, it will like rush in like it's been held back, and like the dam opens, so it'll just go in and go crazy. And so that's why you have to go through this period of time where you're just saturated with sebum. So then I hope I'm saying the right thing. I'm pretty sure. So but it equalizes out. It doesn't stay in such panic like, oh, hurry, cover the hair, so it gets more relaxed. But you got to go through the period. It's like a rebound. And so I'm in the rebound period for sure. But what is trippy is when I go in the mirror and I look at my hair, it is weird because my hair is my hair is like a fine texture. Like my dad's hair was super fine and my mom's hair was really thick and coarse. Like I said, my mom was very dark. She had thick, coarse hair, big wavy hair, and she was really dark skinned and dark eyes. And then my dad was really fair and white hair and pinkish skin and bright blue eyes. And his hair was super fine and hers was super thick. And so I got like his texture of hair, but like her amount of hair. So I had like thinner hair, but I had a ton of hair. Because I would hear it from every fucking hairdresser when I used to go in and get my hair foiled. And it would always be bitching about, oh my God, you've got so much hair. And anyways, but it was always kind of, flatter and fine in texture. And so leaving it like this, what I'm noticing is it gives it so much more body. And it is, it kind of reminds me of like an apple that has been coated or something. It's like the hairs have a protective coating on them or something. It's really weird. And it gives it more texture and everything. Like even when I get frustrated and I'm like, oh my God, because last night I was just, I went, yesterday I was looking up all these other natural shampoo things. I was like, there's got to be something better. There's got to be something where I can get my hair where it feels clean. But I think our idea of clean is stripping our hair of all its natural. And so it's like a shift in our mind that has to happen as to what clean is. And so, and I had gotten something in my hair and it was sticky. And in the article things with the boar brush is that the ladies with the hair back in the day when they wouldn't wash their hair. That wasn't a thing back then. And then, but they would use that brush and it would move the oils. 100 brush stroke thing was a real thing. And they'd move the oils down through their hair, and the oils would remove any debris and shit that was in their hair. So their natural oil was what they used to clean their hair with the brush. That was their cleaning process. And so, and it's so trippy, I really did notice and throughout my awakening where the whole thing with urine, and I started going like, why in the world do we wash our hand? If urine is antiseptic, like you can drink it, you can use it to put on wounds if you have nothing. You can use it to survive. It's trippy too. Once it goes through and filters, it is giving you back what you need. But, they put it in our mind that it's gross, it's filthy, it's dirty. Wash your hands, don't get it on you. And it used to trip me out because men were constantly, and I had a lot of men, boyfriends and husbands and shit, so I had a lot of men around me, and they constantly go to the bathroom and they don't wash their hands. And as women, we were so taught, you're wiping down there, get in there and wash your hands. And, I started thinking like, are we really touching anything? I mean, our fingers, we're not like sticking our fingers in there to wipe. We're using some toilet paper and patting it and dropping the toilet paper. It's not like we're, doing surgery down there. It's like, I'm not even touching pee. And even if a pee got on my finger right here, it would be more antiseptic. It wouldn't be like, oh my God, I just got germs. My own germs are all like, run, wash them off, get the detergent. And so I really started looking at it different, especially when you start seeing about there's people who are using urine to heal with the eye thing, because I'd watched the whole thing about that, which I am noticing so much improvements with my eyes. Like if you've been on this journey with me for a while, you know about the eye stuff. And I am really seeing so much improvement for sure. Like it's crazy how much more improvement I'm seeing. So the castor oil, I mean, it could be all the different things, just trying to do more detoxing and all that stuff. So, I don't know what it is. I just can see differences as I'm doing these things. And so I can share, what I'm noticing for me. But, you got to remember it's different for every single person. We all are different. So don't go into every single thing and think, oh, well, it worked for them, so it'll work for me. Just go in and see, like, will this work for me? Like the apple cider vinegar shampoo works really good for some people. Like that girl did it on her hair and her hair came out light and fluffy. And so, but it doesn't every time I've used it, because I went and did this months ago and it didn't do the same on mine. So anyways, just don't get put off. It's like coming up with your own cocktails, your own recipes for you. And I was looking online for more natural recipes, and there's some sort of a powder stuff. It's a herb, and it gets sudsy, and it's supposed to be really good for washing hair. And so I am gonna order some of that. It's like $8 or something for, like, I don't know, 4 ounces of the powder. And so I thought, well, I'll try that first. And then another one a lot of people use is Castile soap, and then they add all sorts of stuff, and everybody adds oils, essential oils, and all this stuff. So everybody keeps adding oils to the shampoos and shit they're making, which, I don't know. This is all stuff, we'll just have to figure out. And I mean, to me, I kind of feel like there's a lot of things that we're worrying about, like right now, that is not going to be anything that we're going to be worrying about coming up. Like we're going to see a lot of things that we're thinking about or worrying about are going to just be solved in the process. Like it's all part of it. And so, I mean, I don't want to get too caught up or hung up. But, I'm definitely going through noticing all these girls making all these natural shampoos. And I was like, see, this is where, these girls who are just doing it and sharing the thing, they keep it up. They're doing something they're interested in. That, I mean, like for me, I want to go in and just say, hey, could I just pay you to make some and send it to me? Like, there's a lot of people who are doing those, and they will be able to start doing that. There will be people, whether will be a market for it. And so, anyways, any of those things that you're doing to try and go natural, or any of those things, face products here, all of the different herbs, everything, that is going to be like the trend. That's going to be like, and it's going to be a long trend. So the more you know, the more you can help and share. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can start supporting yourself off of your own abilities and knowledge and stuff like that. But it's, people just got to start recognizing. You got to recognize your own value. You got to recognize your own skills, what you are interested in, what you learn about, and the opportunities to share what you are learning and make money off of it. But I'm still not on the healing thing. And I see all these different people out there, all the time on these different things, these healers and life coaches and all this stuff out there all the time. Like I just saw this one, sign up for my new class, everybody, and I'm going to teach you about blah, blah, blah. And it's $1,000 a class or whatever. I remember when David Wilcock was doing some of those classes and stuff, and his was more about teaching about, truth or history or something that, his was different than healing. He wasn't trying to do healing, and his was like $333. And I thought, that's a lot. Like, to me, is just go on and share your information. The universe will come in and take care of you, and especially if you're doing what they want you to do. And they made it clear to me what they wanted me to do, because they turned on my light and they went, shut the fuck up. And they pushed me into doing this. I wasn't an introvert. I wasn't an extrovert. I was, I'm good on one-on-one. I can talk and talk and talk, but I've never been somebody who just goes up and talks in a crowd like that. So I could relate so much with Raquel. I was very much like that, very much kept silent and stuff. And I was told all the time when I was younger, by men, boyfriend, also friends, you're weird. Oh, just be quiet. You're so weird. And you're too deep. You think about weird stuff. You worry about weird stuff. Well, I was seeing this morning, the people like me who were noticing weird stuff and thinking about weird stuff. See, we were noticing things that other people weren't. So we were, putting it all together. That's why I can talk about some of this stuff that I see in relationships and patterns and, behaviors and stuff, is because it's, I watched, I listened, I asked people, I listened to people about, what was going on with them and stuff like that. And so you do see there's patterns and stuff. And, the isolation creates where people think like they're the only one. They're the only weird one. They're the only this one. They're the only, and they start feeling really bad about themselves. Like everybody else can do it. Everybody else is good. Everybody else is perfect. It's just me. And so you have to go through, it's part of the empowerment. And so, what it's for each person to find for themselves, that your love for yourself is the hidden treasure. And okay, so yeah, I wanted to say this because this is something that is tripping me out kind of. And I don't remember when it was. I mean, to me, it's not like there's so many things that when you look at it, you'll see like they're giving you pieces of a puzzle all the time. And the puzzle just fills in. And so you don't get like You may not get all the answers you want off of one communication. You get pieces that you need to know. And then when you ask for more information or clarity or something, they'll explain it to you more, you know. But, you know, don't get frustrated, because I feel like sometimes it's just so easy for me that you know, my communication is different. And so if you're starting it, don't get frustrated if it's not easy, because I think it is more challenging, you know, if you haven't done it. It is challenging. So don't, I mean, I've talked to people who are spiritual who, you know, that they were just learning, because they would go into meditation and they were constantly telling me, like, I mean, they kind of felt like their guides were out to get them. Their guides were always fucking with them and stuff. And it was like, what? And then her lack of communication with her guides and never really knowing. And then one day she all of a sudden was like, something happened and she goes, oh, I just saw it. Now I get it. As she all of a sudden could understand what it was, how they show you things. They make certain things stand out to you. But you got to notice, it's your awareness, you know, you're just zipping by or you're just on your way. You got to get to that place, you know. And that's why the island mentality, the Eastern philosophy is, you know, you're not supposed to be rushing to get someplace. That's why they want us all rushing around like a bunch of ants. You're not supposed to be rushing to get someplace. You're supposed to be in the flow. You're supposed to be appreciating everything and everyone you come across. That is what life is about, is who you come across, not rushing, hurry, get there, hurry, get there. You know, so it is about, you know, changing how we look at things. But anyways, that wasn't the thing I was going to say, because I still got to say what it was I was going to say. Is sometimes I'm always like wondering, like, okay, so did I just say the thing you wanted to say? You just were getting me to look at that to remind me, so I would say this, but then where's the other thing? One of the things is in Nevada. So this is, she's a big creator, this girl. I don't know how big, but I know that she's got a big following. And so, and she is religious, like a patriot. I don't know how to explain her, because sometimes, you know, like there's a lot of them. They'll be saying something and I'll think one thing and then they'll say something else. I'll be like, wait, what? So, you know, the awakening is very, you know, complex. So anyways, she is, she's being hit really hard right now, and it's really, really creepy. And so she keeps showing footage, but she's losing her mind. Like, she can't sleep. She's really freaking losing it. And so in Nevada, and now I can't remember which city, it was a smaller kind of city, I think, but it is overrun with these things called Mormon crickets, which I never even heard of. I don't know what a Mormon cricket is. I mean, they look similar just like to black crickets. So, you know, I don't know the specifics, but she said every year they will migrate through this town. But this year they're overrun, like they are covered. Everywhere is covered. You can't go outside or anything. It is creepy. It is so apocalyptic looking. And she's freaking out. Like, she is practically in tears. She can't sleep. Her dogs can't go out. She's had a neck fusion. She can't go out because if she moves suddenly, she could, you know, become paralyzed or something. So she is, you know, freaking out. And like this morning she did a video and she's just a mess. And she's like, I think we're going to have to go someplace else. I can't take it. I can't sleep. She said, I don't know, knowing that they're out there covering your house like this, it's hard to sleep. And it is crazy when you see these videos. And I also saw a video this morning, DFW. So now the smoke and fog have moved down here, there. Over here, yesterday, all of a sudden, because, I'll go in and check the weather thing. They've given up on that. They're just like, fuck it. Just put on whatever. We don't care. We got our own thing going over here. So it's not even matching. It's just going to town. And so it had said it was going to rain later in the afternoon, maybe, and it would be like a couple hours and possible rain or something like that. And that it was just cloudy. And I think it was like 67 or something like that. And then all of a sudden it blew in. It was so freaking cold and so windy. I couldn't believe it. First, it was like I was hearing the wind. Yesterday, I couldn't even handle having, I had to just have nothing on so much through the day. It was like, I can't even, I would even try and start a movie or something. Like, okay, just relax. Just sit down, relax, watch a movie or something. And I could not get comfortable at all. I felt so uncomfortable. I feel so weird anyways. I've been talking about. It's like, I feel kind of like a cartoon that's come to life or something. And, oh yeah, because I wanted to talk about that too. Because, how they showed me about the roadkill. It was some question I was asking. And, oh yeah, okay. Oh, this is so much. Hold on. Oh, okay. It's like a tornado. Fuck. Okay. So, okay. Okay, so when I was, one of the things, so has been tripping me out that I've talked about for, a long, long time, is how can they affect us when we're not even real? Like, how do they do this stuff? It's got to be through chemicals and frequency that interfere with the projection, how it's projected. So they interfere like that. So it interferes with us. Man, there's so many things like pug and so many. Oh God, this is overwhelming. Okay. So there's no way. There's no way I can cover. I don't even know how to explain some of this stuff. So to me, that has tripped me out. I've been, how we can be affected, like that and get sick. People get sick from the chemicals and they're lied to. They're told they're sick because I don't even know why the fuck they were telling people they get cancer. Who knows? But environmental and shit. So you get sick, but really in the spiritual part of it, you get sick so you heal. You get things taken away. So it's to push you, to motivate you. Because you get too comfortable, you get lazy, you stop, you get stuck. And like, that is one thing why there's so many people have near-death experiences. It's like you got to cross back over, get a little, remember? Get your ass in there. And people come back and they remember, changes their attitude. And so sometimes they got to have a little remember. And sometimes some people need a motivation of loss or problem, because it pushes them. And so car wrecks and stuff, like the guy out there cheering, he couldn't even believe that he didn't die in that car wreck. And how many people get in car wrecks. But those things are to teach you every situation. Every time you get sick, it is to tune you into yourself. But see, we go outside of ourselves. We go to somebody else. Here, I've got this wrong. Can you fix me? Can you heal me? Can you? And see, they set that up. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. I guess there's more stuff because I just saw somebody else saying about the CIA files. There's more stuff being released or something. You can go on the CIA.gov and then you go down to the information being released. And it's all this stuff, how they've studied how our minds work and how to, it's in their stuff. It's like I'm not making this shit up. They just tell me in my head. And so... But they've been telling me this shit since I was a kid. They've been pointing this shit out to me. It was frustrating because nobody ever fucking listened to me. But anyways, so the things happen so you shake things up. But you believe like you're going to get sick. So then, so if you're sick and then you get it in your head, like you believe you're sick. So it's hard to explain. So you believe you're sick. So all these things start coming up to confirm you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. More things come up like, oh my God, you're going to die. So you start having all of these different things come up, the things you could be healing or working on. They're all coming at you. And so there's a lot of people who heal and heal from sicknesses and come back stronger and realizing then they are holding the light to that experience. So but a lot of people, they start getting sick and they start having these things come and they don't want to face them. You know, it's too much to overcome. And sickness feels good. It's an escape. It's an out. And you're always going to take it. Don't think like you're doing something wrong. You're always going to do what you were going to do. You're in a replay. This is a replay. There's nothing that you're going to do that you didn't already do. It's always going to go the way it was going to go. So when you don't, so you believe you're going to die, so you die. You make sure it happens. Just like, like a car wreck and somebody is all broken and they leave their body. They're standing there, they're looking at their broken self. They could go back in and say, oh, I'm gonna heal. This is an illusion. I'm not really here. But there's a confusion. But see, we're accelerating, we're ascending, we're gaining knowledge, and this is the knowledge. And so, what he could do as a soul is he could just hop right back in there and just sit up, just like the roadkill, just sit up. And this is I'm pretty sure this is out of the CIA files. And there was not just Saint Germain, he is also where he had known reincarnations or known where he wasn't dying. He was, it wasn't reincarnating. It was some of it. Just look it up. I'm not even gonna try and explain it. Just look up about the Saint Germain. It's trippy stuff. So then there's a story about this guy who is he came from out in the realms, and so he was another being from another place, more advanced being, and he came to talk to our government, and he was explaining things to him, and our government has been working with the other worldly creatures that are about control and manipulation, and they pay them, they pay them in technology to have access to, eat us and all that shit. So anyways, then and our government is like, hell yeah, technology, hell yeah, we can drip it down, we can have all this, and then we can drip it out for them and charge them a lot. They're just fuckery. And so this a positive light being came down to talk to him and tried to, talk sense to him or something. I can't remember. You'd have to look up about this too. And the thing I do remember is that they didn't, they wanted him gone. So through the story, they kill him multiple times, and he keeps coming back. They even cut him up and take all his parts to different areas. Like they dismember him, and then they send like a leg to Africa, an arm to India, so they separate him all across our realm. And then he showed back up at I think at the White House or something. He showed back up to talk to him. And so then they were really freaked out, because he had put himself back together, because it's not real. And as the gurus that really start to understand that, they can levitate, they can move energy, because they start realizing that's the crossover. That's what I'm always working on, is that, and it is not like the witches where they are trying to manipulate energy. That is why I say it's weird that they say that they're witches born back as witches, because if you go through a life of witchcraft, then you understand, you learn about energy and alchemy and stuff. And so why would you be here trying to manipulate energy unless you're just learning about energy? So this is more manifesting and intention and stuff, like you're leveling up on the energy. It's not this, go and, write it on a paper, or get a candle that's pink, and all of this ceremonial shit that they do. It's just, It's the same thing as all of, it's just old-fashioned shit, man. It's just old-fashioned. All this stuff these people do. Religion's old-fashioned. I mean, these are all things that people who have no understanding do. So it's old-fashioned in the way we are ascending. We're graduate. We're opening our minds. We're seeing more clear. It's not about just, go burn this and flip this and do that. It's the intention. It's what you are thinking. You are creating. And so you bypass the other part, go straight to the intention, straight to the creation. And so it's straight towards the manifesting, but you also have to have in your pocket the understanding of destiny and fate. And you're trying to manipulate time, and you're trying to manipulate other people's energy. So, you have, but those are those people's lessons, that's their lessons. So, anyways, the whole thing, when they showed me the other day, because I was sitting there, I'm in this deep thing, and I'm like, yeah, but it's so weird. Like, how is it that we bleed? Like like these conversations, it's not like words. Like, I'm sending messages and receiving messages, but a lot of the communication, a lot of the communication for me, I would say, is this burping thing, this fucking sickness. I didn't even finish with the weather shit. Did I even finish and say Texas now, they're all foggy over here? Then they blew in, and they were saying it was 60. It was fucking 40 at best. It was so fucking cold. And then somebody else came in. I did a TikTok about it, and somebody else came in and said the same thing happened down in Tennessee. And so, it's just, oh, and one thing too that they showed me was, so, because sometimes I'll be nervous, like yesterday, I'm watching the wind. And one thing, we know that the certain people are going to start having some really bad experiences. And so that's why I was like that lady with the crickets. Like, she's falling apart, and it's gonna probably push her into having to heal or something. But there's a lot of people who are falling apart, and so all of those people have to be pushed into healing. Something has to rock their world, and so there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot more with the disasters and death and crises and stuff like that. And so it was kind of like, them showing me, like, be like, a neighbor going to the hospital, not coming out. One thing that they showed me is, like, if you're already awake, you've already learned, unless you create it. I'm like, this is where I keep doing this, like anything that'll come into my mind, like I have fear or something, like, oh my God, like the tree falling on my house or something. And then I start feeding that energy. Oh my God. And you start feeding that. Then that is the creation of it happening. So you are feeding that fear, feeding that energy to create it to happen. And so when you catch yourself feeding a fear, that is backpedal as fast as you can and pull free from that and recognize what you're doing. And then try and do, counteract it with your mantras and stuff like that. Whatever ones you come up with that you're comfortable, I got to remind myself all the time, this is a movie. This is a movie. And what's really trippy right now is when watching the people in the movie. It is more and more, the more awake you become, the more you sit in observation and watch. And there is totally like a movie, like people are playing parts for this movie. Like you have these citizen journalists and they're so serious about what's going on. And it's like, this is so funny. This is totally a movie. Like you're watching it all play out. Watching yesterday's stuff with Trump and stuff. And then seeing, like, I did some TikToks because to me, it's like these people are becoming so nasty and so hateful. It's mind-boggling. And they're so excited. Like, they really think he's done these crimes. They don't understand that he's the patsy, dude. He's the one who, it's just to get your attention. It's just to get you to have judgment so you can pull your judgment up to the surface. And then you're going to see the judgment is where the manipulation lied. It isn't, this guy is just the patsy. He's the one who is willing to be thrown under the bus and made fun of. And, you know, his purpose was one of, is a catalyst, but is of, there was a couple words that came in and it pull back. Okay, it was so I didn't want me to say. So basically like a catalyst for change. So, you know, that's his role. What was that one too? Not matriarchy. Not massacre. They're making that word hard for me to see. So anyways, it's probably not very matchy to what the energy is. And so that's a problem with a lot of our words, you know. The words. Oh, yeah. So when they're telling me stuff, when I'm in communication, it is, you know, when you get, I don't know, there could be people way better telepathy than me. Like to me, for telepathy, you're focused and you're talking back and forth. You're focused on a certain energy, and you're just talking back and forth. Like this person I'm connected to through my soul, not in the physical. I haven't met him in the physical, but I'm connected to him through my soul, you know. And so I talk to them like, and it is, it's a direct, and, you know, I don't know if I've gone in their dreams, but they've certainly come into my dreams. Like they've shown up in my, not in this physical reality, but in other areas of my life. So anyways, and there's a whole thing about the energy. Oh God, I would cry. There's so many things. Oh, okay. So the, in the communication, to me, it is like this swapping thoughts. I don't know. It's not like I'm sitting there talking or typing it out or something. It's like I'll envision something and then they'll send me a vision back and I'll envision something else. But there can be words and inner knowing that goes with it. So it is, it's a complex communication. And I don't know, since I've been doing it my whole life, I don't know if it is like when you're just starting to try and learn, if there's steps, you know, if there is like, you know, you can get all the clairs, or if you just have specific ones and it's really hard to get the other ones. But if you have ones that are easy, you don't have to have them all. You just got to use yours. You can keep developing them. You know, you can keep working on them, but definitely whatever you have, use it. You know, if you're, whatever your communication tool is to communicate with the other side. Maybe it's just a pendulum, and that's how you communicate. You know, however it is for you to start getting comfortable to realize you're in communication. And that is where they'll start helping you. They'll start explaining things to you, showing you things and helping you. But one of the things too is what really trips me out is, so yesterday I'm sitting here and there's a whole bunch of things on my mind. So, you know, like I said, there's like tons of it. It's a busy. And then, so I had, it was something thinking about, you know, I remembered when I was 16 and when I came out of my body. And this is only one tiny, tiny fraction. I'm just trying to grab something. So and when I came out of my body, and it was like, it felt like I was walking. And so it felt like I was walking because I thought I was walking, and I was walking to the bathroom, but really it was, I was floating to the bathroom. And so, you know, throughout this whole thing, when they've been like making me get my understanding of what reality is, and so often I slip out of this reality and go into another one. That is where your consciousness is focused, is what your reality is. That is what they've made it clear to me, unless, you know, there's more to the understanding and I just haven't got there yet. But it is, it's where your consciousness is focused is your reality. And so, and you can go through different things And so anyways, but it is like consciousness. The other day I put on this old movie. It's on Cult Classics on YouTube. It was and they are always putting on these weird old movies, and it was this one, I don't remember what it was called. It was just the other day, and it was something of the brain or something from Planet Czar or something. And this brain, like they would use the visual, it looked like this brain, but it would get inside of people. Like it could go inside of you and take you over and override your soul. So it was in more advanced consciousness, especially more advanced than, people who sit there and think they have to burn candles and pray to Jesus, all this stuff. So yeah, it's way more advanced than that. It knew what the fuck to do. So it could go and take over your vessel and use it for its own thing. And the way it would sit up there when it was outside, when it was communicating outside, it looked like a brain. Like it could come out of the person and sit there, and it would look like a floating brain. And if you think about like how they were representing in a floating brain, but so if you take our soul, our consciousness, and you want to think of it as a floating brain, I've used it also said like a bubble, like those giant bubble things. When they do those, that's what it to me is very much more like, because the color, the movement, the energy, and that is like when you look through the telescope at the stars, that's what the stars look like. As I said, it looks like people up there dancing. It's I think it's the energy, and we're stars and shit. We're looking at beings. We're not just looking at, oh, there's just sparkly things in the sky. We're looking at energy. We're looking at layers and layers of dimensions. And that is what is going to be when the sky opens up. That's what we're going to realize, is it the sky was fake, like the Truman Show, that it is realms. The sky was hiding the truth, the realms. And I think if we were born into it, like we'll see, people will be born into this. But for what we came to experience, the containment, the habitat, had to be created for what the experiment was. And so, and that is what we've been in this, long giant experiment. And so now it is, it's ending and it's all shattering. Like the lab is going to blow up. And so then we're going to see that we're out with just realms. And that is, and then we're going to have such advancements in our technology and our travel. It's going to be really cool. And I don't know if that will all go with, like the sky will shatter at the same time as a solar flash or something. Like, I don't know. Or are we going to have this, like they're trying to get people so focused on the alien stuff right now. And so is that going to be a part of people looking up to the sky? Like, are we close to having this other thing go down? And the sky is going to open up. And that's part of the awakening. There's something in my sock poking me. And I'm sweating all of a sudden. Odd. So I don't know how it's going to go down, but it's going to go down like as part of the whole thing. And so the sky, and it's weird when they keep doing this stuff to the sky, and putting the smoke. But I'm really thinking all this smoke and all this, I mean, they want to get poisonous for sure. But it also, they use it to keep covering the sky because they don't want us to see what's up there. And it's so weird at this point. But I think that is why the rush to disclosure on the aliens and stuff. A lot of people think, oh, well, it's blue beam, they're just setting it up and stuff. But I don't know, if it's going to go so. I think if they were going to do the fake alien invasion, like this may be like we're in the fake alien invasion. Maybe they're going to have some ships come in and, shoot at some people and try and scare everybody. I don't know. Maybe it is happening in some other places. I don't know. But, it's not going to be our forever. It's just part of the awakening. All this shit is just part of the awakening. It's just one trauma thing after another. But what they were showing me, though, is like, so when the wind was blowing and stuff, I start being like, oh my God, is a tree gonna fall on my house? What the fuck? And they showed me, so it's kind of like, if you're awake and you're doing good and you are positive and all of that stuff, so it's kind of like a disaster could come in, like a tornado could come into your area, and it's going to hit the places of the houses of the people who aren't awake. And it's not to punish them, it's to wake them up. And so you can be safe even though something bad or tragic can come in. But just keep in mind, unless, see, if you start making it, you start connecting to it, then you can create that to happen. That is you telling yourself you need something else to happen to help you understand what's going on. When you get to that place of understanding and you keep, telling yourself, okay, this is just a movie, this is just, whatever it is you need to tell yourself to keep yourself straight in your head. And then the things happening will happen around you to other people. It won't happen to you. So it's like a whole town could burn down and your house is the one left. So, and I'm not saying, I mean, that can happen in some of these places. There can be some stuff, and that can be a part of, what is going to shake things up for people to see how it's our mind, it's us, it's our attitude, it's how we look at things. This is all a creation. And also, keep in mind that the story that they are template of the story is the hero's journey. And so the hero's journey is what they try and show in the movies. And it is, the like a Rocky story, the one who, the underdog coming up, and that's the Trump, he's playing out that story. He's the underdog, he's the beat down one, the one that they call a criminal and throw stones at and shit like that. And that then it's going to switch in a show that he is the hero. And so many of these people, I mean, they are fucking all in. They've taken their chips and gone all in. They are convinced Trump is evil. He's going down. It's crazy to see this and see with these people and their attitude and shit. It's like, oh my gosh, you guys are, I'll play poker with you. I'm not good at it, but I'll play poker with you. Because obviously these people don't, they don't see something. They're lost somehow, and I know, their media and stuff is lying to them. And, they tell them shit, like the stuff that they come in and say. And it's just like, I just keep saying, your media is lying to you. Work on your biases, work on seeing what's real and not just believing what somebody tells you is real. And, but it's like, you can't get through to them at this point. They're going to have to see the truth. But if we go by that hero's journey in the movie and where we are in the movie, to me, we're at the part where it's all about to go the other direction. Like, yeah, I mean, now he's been arrested and all of this stuff. I tried to see what he was saying last night, but Stella was having such a fit, and they kept dragging it out. So I never did see when he got to the place because he was going to speak. And but one thing is a lot of the time he's speaking to the people who are new to him. Like, you can tell if you pay attention to what he's speaking about. He's trying to like educate these people who are new to him, and get them to understand, see that what he's doing. I mean, there's people there's people who don't understand the good things he was doing for our country. Like, it's crazy when you hear what these people's attitudes are. It's like, Jesus Christ, this guy was doing so much. He was bringing industry. I mean, he's going against the corporations. He's taking down the the capitalist way of living. He's trying to do the great equalizer, not go communist. He's just trying to give us all a fair opportunity by not being manipulated and enslaved by a system and lied to, and then them drive up the prices of everything to collapse it, so that to keep more and they get more and more people where there's just a few up there hanging on the ledge. so stressed out. It's like just IV me depression meds and anxiety meds at this point. Like these people, and then you see them, shit's going down because the energy is intense and shit is going down. They're losing their goddamn minds in public. I just saw another one that was so fucking mental, and this was another girl who was seemed like a young girl. They having these people on this medication, and it's the same thing as like a alcoholic once they've grown up and they're just emotionally immature. They have not matured because they just were drunk. And so then you get them like in their rage and they're mad and they're angry and stuff because they don't know how to handle shit. And so, they have to go back and develop parts of themselves, deal with parts of themselves that they didn't deal with when they start drinking. And that is what they got to go back, do their childhood trauma healing and shit. And, work through your rage. Don't stay stuck in rage. Just because you're not drinking, that doesn't give you the right to go around raging on everybody now. So, but it's the same kind of thing, these handicaps in development that occur. And so all these people who are on all of these mood stabilizer kind of things, like to control your mood, to control your outlook, to control how you feel, and all of that business. So they're not doing it for themselves. They're not, minding the station. They are, going to somebody else in a lazy way. Here, can you do this for me? It's a little hard. It's like I gotta hold this weight up all day long. It's like, well, you hold that weight up all day long, you get stronger and stronger and stronger. So, anyways, that's not their choice. They want the easy way. But so now, as things are heating up, they are melting down. And this one, I think this was a Walmart or something. I'm not sure though. It was just a really big store. It could have been a Target, but she was back by the pharmacy, and she was screaming her head off like a child, and throwing things. She just was knocking everything off all the shelves, all the medicines, like all the bottles of Tylenol, all the like all that shit, just going through, knocking everything off the shelf, screaming like a psychopath. And then an employee or something is going, looking for him. Of course, everybody's got their phone on them. Everybody's got to go viral. So they're filming, showing all this funky mess. You can hear her screaming. Then they get over there and she's just sitting on the floor. She's just worn herself out with her little fit. This is in public. Like, people used to worry about, like, how they acted in public. Like, that was a concern. Now that's gone out the window. People are just like, do anything you want. I mean, take off your clothes in public. Like, nobody gives a shit. People give a shit, The person who on the White House lawn who went and did that. And it's so crazy too, is because it was a born male who transitioned and had the top surgery. I don't know what it's got going on the bottom, but it's got the top surgery. And so, like, dude, are you fucking joking? He's been out this whole fucking video now. When he was a guy, he could show his nipples all the time. And that's really not fair now that he's a girl, that he can't show his nipples. And so he's all about free the nipple. Like, that's some bullshit. So he's standing up for women's rights to bare their breasts. And so, he did it on the White House lawn. It's like, there's just so many, For one thing, the government shouldn't be telling us what to do about our clothing. But, it fed into all of the whole grooming thing and stuff like that. So you have these instigator people who just feed off of the bullshit and continue and you have the other side who gets so mad. And another thing I noticed too was Target. Was it Target or was it another store? May have been the Target one with the flag, that they had to take down the pride stuff because the people were too stupid and didn't understand, and they had to put up the flag stuff because that's the only thing that they seemed to understand, or some rude ass shit this guy was saying. But what was I going to say about it? Is because Something with their attitude. Oh yeah, because see, then they do it and they blame it on somebody else. So then now you have all these the I'm not going to say gay people, because the gay people in the LGBT, they're separating. And the people who are on the LGBTQ, they're going in hard. It's very divisive right now. And the people, the LGBT, those people, they are being told that it's the conservatives why their stuff is being moved and taken away and stuff. So, see, they just create this division. They blame it on someone else. No, it's the corporate overlords who are pushing your buttons. Like, pay attention. I mean, it just shows how these people are so in their ego. You honestly think the government is here to support you? Are you fucking joking? Like, now they're hanging the flag. To me, I think that it could be them going into union. You know, the LGBT, it's the people who worship the government, and the government, the government doesn't give a fuck. They just need some slaves. They just need some people to, work. So they don't give a fuck. What color your hair is, what color your skin. They don't care. They just want the people who will mind, do what they're told. And these people, they just, man, yeah, hang up our flag. We're right, and it's like, jeez. Like, when you go back in history, that's kind of funny. Yeah, I guess when we go back and we look at that word you can't say, I always call them the Swaze sticks. Yeah, they worked for Hitler. They were like soldiers in history. When we look back on these people, the browns, they're the rainbow shirt. They're not brown anymore, they're rainbow. It's just kind of funny. But it's all, it's all so absurd. Like, you gotta laugh at it. But, when you can get it into that point of really seeing as an observer and really recognizing it really is a movie playing out, and there really is people out there playing their parts. They're very upset about this, they're very upset about that, they take it very seriously. But when you're somebody who is in the observation, who is healed and awakened and know what's going on, you know that this stuff is going to happen. It's all happening. It's going to happen. We're going in a cycle. You can't stop it. You can't all of a sudden say, no, Age of Aquarius isn't going to happen anymore. No. Can we stop the zodiac from continuing its cycle? Can we stop? Like, you can't. It isn't like, I don't even understand how people get all like, no, that's not what, we're going into the Armageddon, we're all going to die and stuff. Well, maybe you are, but, especially when we start getting to that point of understanding that we can't die, that we can just keep coming back in, and if your body is able to be healed, which they're going to, that's going to be the fascinating thing with the med beds, is the destruction that can be healed. Like, we didn't ever have to be dying. That was always for profit. And so, when we get to that thing, because it's in our mind, it's in our programming about dying, and we can die, your body's broke, you're dying, your body's sick, you're dying, all of that stuff is when you start realizing, I can't die, I'm a fucking hologram. It's my energy. It's like a ghost can make itself be seen. Like, you got to understand a spirit. The spirit is what's real, like that brain in that movie up there talking. We are that brain. We are in this being, this vessel that we're inhabiting. Is it's like a cartoon, but it's the brain part that's real. When you get control of your brain part, your soul part, the part of you that can go around, that is the part we're learning about how to control, is that part. But see, when you're very focused on the 3D, then you're missing the boat on all of the action. I've got so much action going over here. It's crazy. This is so distracting. There's one after another. I have no idea what's going on. And anyways, Ugh, I think I just hit a slobber thing on my chair. Her slobber. Her slobber has gotten so much worse since what I still don't know. I still think it's some stroke or a brain tumor or something that happened. I still don't know what, but it's still, I mean, she's doing so much better, but there's still certain things, like she won't get on the couch. She still won't get on the bed. And I don't know if she's forgotten things or if she just doesn't want to do certain things. Like, I don't know. But yesterday when we went to, what I have seen with her is her desire to interact with people. Oh my gosh, that is what she wants to go. She wants to go out in the neighborhood so she can run up and interact with people. She wants to everywhere we go. And a lot of people don't want a dog to come up to them. And Stella's so much like she just wants to go up to everybody. But I really started noticing that. And I'm constantly having to be like, no, you can't go over there. And but I was like, oh, so cute. No, that's why she's laying here crying at me. She's bored and she's lonely. And I keep telling her, well, I'm going to get you a little farm. You're going to have some goats and some chickens. You're going to have your own little pride out there. And, oh yeah, because there was so I wanted to say about that. Okay, so yesterday when I was talking about, yesterday when I was talking about, like, I still can't remember the story or whatever they were showing me about how, a different role that somebody was playing, and then they showed me how the other role was the counterbalance. And so I still can't remember that story, but so the one I'm going to tell is my own. And this was one that I found out about this when I was a teenager. The first time I went to a psychic, I went with somebody. They were going to the psychic. I've told this story, so it could be a story that's familiar to some of you. But so I went to the psychic with my friend, and when I walked in, and the psychic started just talking to me, and she started telling me that I was a gypsy and that I was murdered. I was very beautiful, but I used my looks to deceive and hurt others. And I was very manipulative, and I was murdered on a ship in open water. And I've got a horrible thing about open water. And oh my God, when I've been on a cruise, a ship, oh my God, so much anxiety. And but that I was stabbed in the stomach and thrown overboard. And she had no idea that I had a birthmark on my stomach. I didn't tell her anything. I knew that I had a birthmark. I had two. One that looked like where somebody would stab up and make one, but then take another and really jab it in. Because one is like a big rip and one's like a poke. And so, and I've had so much gut problems. And anyways, so I was told that. I think I was like, I don't know, I think I was 17 or 18 years old, something like that. I could have been 19. And so I'm pretty sure I was 17 or 18. And so it was before I knew about reincarnation too. Or it was around the time I just started reading about it and learning about it. Maybe that is one of the things of why I was interested in it. I don't remember. But the point I'm trying to make about it is, so then in this life, I was used all the time. When I was younger by older men, I was used all the time. And I didn't ever see myself as pretty. They saw me as pretty. I always saw myself as being strange looking. I thought it was weird. And I thought it was weird looking and stuff like that. And then when guys are giving you attention and stuff, especially older ones, they're very good at, telling you what they think. It becomes what you think. And so, but I was used. And so that is like the counter. So I went in and used people. And so then I had to come in and experience what does it feel like to be used in that same way. And so that is what, you're not being punished ever. And that chapter was over. You know, that chapter ended, like that karmic debt ended at some point when I stopped interacting with those people, because those people will come back. Like those people that I screwed over in the other life, they'll come back because we play the parts back and forth. And so it's not like you ever do anything wrong when you're playing the bad part. Somebody has to play the bad guys. How do we have a whole story if we're all just here playing the good guys all the time? So you have to, you know, and you have, I'm telling you, we all have a little law inside of us. We all have a fucking Sheena inside of us. It's finding balance. You know, it's not, you know, just judging people and being like, oh, they're just a total rotten son of a bitch. You know, it's recognizing like, oh, they've got some issues they need to work on. They're stuck on something. You know, anger, resentment, sadness, depression, all of those things are it's like areas you're stuck that you need to heal. So, you know, healing needs to occur to move you. She's like, what is it, honey? She's so precious. God, I love that girl. Well, okay. Why don't you come over here? I'm almost done, okay? I'll finish. Okay, let me think, because there was something else. Okay, so the blood thing was, no, that wasn't it. That was the, you don't die. Something. There's so many things for you just to start. You know, you can stay all focused on just the trauma stuff going on. That's the movie that's playing out. That's the part. Once you realize it, once you see it, you can release it and step back and watch it. And that's why they're always like, get your popcorn, because you know, this stuff is going to play out. There's nothing you need to do unless your soul is telling you, because there's some people who are very much, they are playing a part. You know, if you have a part to play in this part of it, then you're going to feel it. Like, I know I've got a part that I'm playing. I totally get that I'm playing a part. I totally get the part I'm playing, the stuff that I'm saying and stuff. And we have all different people saying all different things, but there's all different people that need to hear all different things. And so we have all these different parts being played, but it's all part of the movie when you, oh my gosh, hold on just a second. The school bus, oh, you can see it go by. Now she wants me to get up, and I've got it all turned funky. Okay. Well, I should just stop anyways. I'm all over the place. I need to get my thoughts more organized or something. But hopefully that the stuff makes sense, what I'm saying. The biggest thing, too, is not just, I think, you know, the biggest thing I'm trying to show or teach or whatever is to be comfortable with yourself. Don't think that you're crazy because you're doing or saying or thinking crazy things. That's programming. They're not crazy. You aren't crazy. You know, no matter how far-fetched, you know, that you go or you get like an Anunnaki princess. Like, you can be like, okay, that's some far-fetched shit, man. Now you got the Anunnaki princess in here telling us like, you know, what we need to do or whatever. And but to me, if you are really stuck on like, well, I'm an Anunnaki princess, then you're being stuck in ego, because you're being stuck in that you're over somebody. You're a royal, you're over them or something. And nobody's over anybody else, you know. And just like I said before, I mean, everybody's gone in and, you know, everybody's gone in and been famous. Everybody's gone in and been royal. Everybody's gone in and played rich people. Everybody's, and you know, you got to think too, is that maybe your soul isn't as fun. Maybe you don't learn as much just playing a rich person and just having things handed to you. Maybe you learn more by having to work and challenge yourself and build and grow and be resourceful. And maybe like most souls want to come in and experience that, because that's where the real growth lies. Maybe it's when you come in and you have everything handed to you, you know, you're learning completely different lessons. But it is, you know, the challenging things bring in the most growth. And so, and I'm not saying that, you know, there's challenges in being rich, but I'm just saying, I think that people in this incarnation at this time in our era are very stuck on thinking rich is the answer, fame is the answer. And what I'm saying is, you've had those things in other lives. They are not. the answer to happiness, you may think. And maybe you're even calling back in a life and you're thinking, that you were really happy in that life. Then that would be a perspective, because fame and money isn't in itself something that is will make your life better. It isn't like, oh, well, if I could just get that, my life will be better. No, that's not how it goes. So that's an illusion right there. So much of this stuff is built on illusion. But if you're chasing the illusion, you're chasing the dream, then you're not healing. You're not, because you're playing in the 3D game. And when you pull free from that, you see like, oh, that's a game. I don't have to go and do that. And you approach it differently. You see it differently, and you start growing and stuff. And that is, that's where we get to where we are that bubble that can form itself and become whatever it wants to be. And that is what we're here to learn, is so that we can step up our game, so we can start, traveling around. We can be out there and be stars and out there, which, when you're not incarnated, that's what you are anyways. You're just energy out there. But or unless you are incarnated, unless you are taking form in a story, and there's story, the heavens are where we really live, but that is also a realm. We're going down, like, we're like, if you think about the heavens as being the land mass of earth, we're going down into the depths of the ocean to experience, to see, to grow. So we're going down in there, and then you have different capabilities, different things. And so, that's it all has to do with that, and so you're down here, you see, you're down in the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, you want to be looking at the ocean and seeing, but once you see, then you don't have to, to me, people just get too much like over dissecting it, just replaying it. They're just stuck. They're just stuck in fear. But so once you go down and you see what you are there to see and learn, then you don't have to just stay down there. You can mentally pull back. You can still look down. You can still see what's happening, but it doesn't affect you because you're not right there. You are looking at it. So, that won't make sense unless you have experienced it and you know what I'm talking about. Once you experience it, like, if it doesn't make any sense, it's once you experience it, it will make sense. It will be part of the experience in the awakening. It's just part of the pulling free from the illusion and realizing you're giving your energy to that illusion. Well, if you're giving all your energy to that illusion, you're not giving it to yourself. If you want to give it to yourself, if you want to expand you can either expand the 3D illusion world, or you can expand yourself. And so if you focus on yourself, then it is allow yourself to feel crazy, allow yourself to do weird stuff. Go sit Indian style in the, well, I wouldn't go deep in the woods, but, sit by a creek, go to a park, sit and, just be there, absorb the energy, allow to come in what needs to come in, look like a fool, who cares? It is, start realizing that the people who think you look foolish are just because they're stuck in a game. They're playing a game. They don't realize, but connect to who you are. Start working on your abilities, mastering your, like, the healing. That's why I said, don't just go get the anatomy and physiology book, because what we need to be working on is our healing, not just going in and, okay, so I have a blood vessel there. I have we don't get too on those details, because it's the overall, it's the ability of learning how to heal yourself. And it has to do with attitude. It has to do with seeing yourself as more developed soul than, there's so many people don't even see themselves as a soul. That's what is so trippy to me. All these super spirits and these healers and these people out there who were fucking, I'm not saying every single one of them, but a big amount of them were atheists. You know, they don't know anything about spirituality. They just, their spirit all of a sudden started talking to them. They started hearing and they started thinking like they're over everybody else. They're the chosen and stuff like that. And it is, uh, you're it goes straight into ego instead of straight into healing. And so that is, ego is a big thing that people need to work on. But there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of people who think they're awake right now. And when this occurs, that they're going to find out that they weren't awake. It's going to be very shocking. And another thing too is what I'm kind of seeing is before where I kept saying it's going to be abrupt. I think it's going to be abrupt, but it's like I feel like the energy, like how it's moving, is like a giant whale, a big gray whale rolling over. Like it's a rolling of this energy. It's changing. Like I thought it was going to be like catapulted. I still think there's going to be a section where we're going to get to, and it's just going to be like the energy just goes like, because like you can feel it. You can feel the energy. You can feel how it's moving and changing, and it's it's heading in another direction. It's definitely headed in another direction, I feel. And I said all the whole time, I said when I start seeing changes in censorship, then I'm going to feel like we're really in it now. We're really moving. And I have been seeing on YouTube the changes in the censorship. TikTok is going all in, but I think that there's more that is going to be exposed about the TikTok thing. And another thing too with TikTok is everything is TikTok shop, TikTok shop. It's just like it's fucking commercial after commercial. All the any of the people who have big accounts, like they're constantly trying to get me to do business things and stuff like that. I'm not doing it. And so they get all these people to do that. All they're doing is selling shit all day long on this fucking TikTok shop. So there's same thing like with Zuckerberg, him promoting these certain accounts and all of that, Twitter, like all this stuff coming out. And, they were, shutting down those of us who were speaking, but they were promoting the people who are out there perving. So it's, all that stuff. And there's going to be stuff that's going to come out with the TikTok. I don't know what the future is of TikTok. I feel pretty sure that we're going to continue with YouTube. I don't know about Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. I don't know about any of those things, which things are going to be left and which things are going to be continued. We're going to continue to have ways. See, YouTube is just a lot more. It's not just social media. It is a place you can go and watch videos and learn, and there's so much information. And the other ones that are more based on social, even though the TikTok, there's short videos and there's a lot more information, it's still like it's not in depth. Like when I go in here and I'm talking and saying more of the whole thing. When I go on there and say stuff like this one yesterday where I said, I don't think that your legs are there unless you're looking at them. How did I say it? Because I said, how do you know your legs are there unless you're looking at them or using them? And I had already done another video where I was just being overhauled by these people coming in and attacking me, these liberal people. And I was like, I just deleted it. I was like, I do not have the patience for this shit. Oh, because that one was trying to get people to understand about the motorcade and Secret Service. That's not ex-president's layout, what we got going on there. And oh my God, it was just like, oh my God, have you ever taken civics? Doesn't look like you graduated civics. I was like, oh, fuck off. I just deleted it. I'm just like, okay, you're not who I want to talk to. And but this one I put, like, if you have, how do you know you have legs unless you're using them or looking at them? And somebody came in right away and said, well, I had an injury on mine, Kelly, and so I know they were there because they were injured and I had to get surgery. And so I was like, interesting. And so they start showing me more things and stuff. And to me, still, we're that brain. We're just that brain. Everything else is what our brain is telling us. And so, and we think it because we believe it, because we're told it. And so to me, there's something more to it. And so I took down that video because I was like, oh God, I can't even go in and, if people don't understand what I'm saying, I'm not going to sit here and keep talking to people who don't understand what I'm saying about it. And but to me, it is our conscious thought that is creating it. Like, just like when I got up and I came out of my body and I floated into the kitchen. I think we're really floating around more than we think we are. We think, like, when we focus, it's like, no, I'm moving on my feet. And that's why I said there's something about shoes and feet and stuff as a vehicle to move the soul around, to move the vehicle around. And it is our thinking it is why it's there. It's not there unless we're thinking it's there. Like right now, the only part of me that is necessary is this part right here. And so I can see this one over here. And I don't know if it's partly because of the glaucoma and losing like parts of my peripheral vision or something. But to me, there's something to it. There's something to our consciousness and us believing that we have legs, so then we use the legs to get around. And we believe it's how we look at it. But really, none of it's there. Our legs aren't there. None of that stuff is there. It's just our consciousness. It's our conscious thought. It's projected. It's creating. It's and it's so trippy too, even being birthed into the reality where people think they're giving birth to a child, and so many people think these children are just there for them to try and relive their own lives, and but these children. Let me think what I was going to say. Because I have so many of those people in my mind, like when you see these people, like how they treat their kids, what they think and stuff. It's like, oh my God, you give your child a separation of being an individual? God damn. That's what it is because you're not giving birth to an extension of yourself, although you are giving an extension of yourself, because we are, like, I'm an extension of my mom, my daughter's an extension of my mom and me. Like, we're extensions of each other, and the lessons that we learn through the generations all are attached to the lesson that my grandmother was learning. We're still in the process of learning, so that all is significant in the soul's journey of learning. But it is, when you give birth, you're not giving birth to a being, a person. You're giving birth to a reality. This being that has come in, that is birthed through you, is the creator of a whole entirely new reality. And in you, the controller of the bringing in, then starts trying to control that reality and set parameters and rules and restrictions on that one. And so there's like, there can be a lot of tension and stuff, which, Vortex, I just want to say, I think that's so excellent. That is so powerful when you can realize something and catch it and then turn it and control it. And that's what it's all about, is us to be able to start learning. And Donna too, like, man, dude, that is so excellent. It is being tuned into those messages and seeing and taking control of our lives. It changes our lives when we do these things. And so that is what this is all about. People can get stuck on whatever parts of the things they want, because things are falling apart, things are ending, people are dying, all those things are occurring. And it is however you, whatever you're directed to experience through this phase. I'm definitely, mine is about healing and preparation and preparing others. Let's merge it for what is to come, because I can see what's to come, and a lot of people can't. And the distraction of the reality that they're confusing people with. But really, I mean, the more and more you sit back and just look at it as a movie, look at it as what's going on. It's a movie. Like, it's so absurd. It's so absurd. It's not even, I mean, Like I would say it's not even a well written movie on this part. Is like where if I was watching this in a movie, I'd be like, oh my god, this is so obvious. Oh my god, this is so stupid. Like as it is, it's like whatever that Jesse Walters, I think he's a news guy on Fox. Yeah, but this stuff with Tucker, like now Fox is going after Tucker, and this stuff is just it's all a show. It's all a show to get people to realize their rights, to realize we have rights, to realize that we're going to watch these people who have been trying to control us and take our rights. We're going to watch them all go down, and see what they were doing, and the people who want to follow them because they'll hang a flag for them. Those people, they think that the government is helping them. They're being so misled, so they're going to see it's the awakening. All this stuff, like you don't have to go and sit and fight and scream and yell and get somebody to understand. It is all going to play out. And I had so many people, they come in and they want to fight with me over something. I say, like, I'm allowed my opinions. I'm not going to change my opinions to please you. But so many people come in to argue, and to me it's like, we'll see. It's going to play out. There's nothing to argue about, and there's nothing to fight about. We're all going to just sit back and watch, and we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it goes. And just keep in mind, when you don't have to convince everybody else, but you're going to feel peace. When it's going, you're going to feel peace. You're not going to feel stress. They're going to be stressed as a motherfucker. So you won't feel that. You're going to feel peace. And that is, that's the winning part of it, is you've gotten yourself in that healthy position mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to understand what's going on, where they're going to just be entering the confusion. So anyways, and you don't want to go into that ego part, like, oh, well, I'm a chosen, I'm better than you, you're just an imbecile, you're an NPC and stuff. Like, those people who with that attitude, they're going to have some shit to wake up to. I'm telling you. There's going to be people who are going to be awakening to so much. And there's so many people right now who are just, using Jesus as a weapon against people. And, there's a lot of shit that is going to awaken people. Like, any of this stuff where you hear people and you're just like, what a wackadoo shit. Don't get all worked up. Just be like, okay, well, we'll see. And it's going to hurt them. Like, they're going to get their consequence. They're going to feel the pain. I mean, anybody who's come out of a relationship that they were tricked and lied to and stuff like that knows the trauma that you come out of being tricked and lied. I mean, you can go on and watch Ariana melting her ass down over it. So, and we're going to have a lot of that. A lot of that, like I said, that Vanderpump Rules is very representative of our climate. And there will be, and don't forget, when I said it was one side of the room, the people who were, it was a different attitude on one side of the room, and the other side of the room was the bigger side. The evil, the dark, the how dare you, and I'm special, you should do what it was just a different attitude. Nobody's there, better hurt me. And, somebody hurts me, I will vengeance the world. So, that's what we're facing. So when I sit here and talk about, like, we're going to be going through some really rough shit when people start seeing, that's what we're going to be going through. And that's girls. That's women in a public stage being watched by millions of people. That's not even men. And you got to remember that there's instigators everywhere out there. They're instigating all sorts of shit. And so, and there's another person too who was talking about, if you're in a city and they start evacuating you, do not go to the highways, which I've already told you guys this. Do not go to the highways. Go the other way. All you gotta do is go in and watch any Armageddon movie, and they get you on the highway stops, everybody's on the highway. Then anything can happen on that fucking highway, and you're all stuck on that highway, everybody's car. And so that's not where you want to be. If you want to stay in your car as long as you can, you want to go on back roads. You want to head out towards state highways and get out. But, you got to be aware of what's going on around you, because they are going to be, they're attacking the rural areas because they're trying to herd us in they're trying to herd us all into a controlled environment. And so be aware where you're headed, because like I had said last year, where my escape route, that they had it blocked off. And so they will be doing that. I mean, they're doing it with the I-95. They're limiting people's escape. And I've said that, like, they've been doing that all along. They are limiting people's movement. They control our movement. And then they, throw down fear. It's like I can see it as like it's a rainstorm of fear that they put down. They trap you, and then they just engulf you, flood you with fear. And so that sets in panic. And in a trapped rat, will overreact. And so we're going to have a lot of people who are going to be overreacting. And so, our whole thing is stay safe and stay, aware. And to also remember, it's going to be hitting certain people harder. So bad things, really bad things will happen to some people. And you can be in the middle, like back in the day where they used to be like, oh, it's a witch, nothing happened to her. And it's that same kind of energy, is because you're putting out a certain vibration. So that vibration is a protection. It is like your vehicle to be in this this reality. So you are kind of like a force field is put up around you, your vibration in this reality, in the stuff that is going to go on. So if something happens though and you're taken out, it's because you were supposed to leave the game at that time. There's nothing you could do about it, unless you go, you realize, like, you get to the other side. And it's not to the other side. You just pop out of your body. When you come out of your body, you're just, it is, like, when I came out, like I said, I came out and it was smoky and gray looking. But, some people come out and they're standing there with all of the people looking at the wreck, and they're standing on the side. There's a really good video going around right now about a guy this happened to. And he was in a horrible car wreck, and he did come out of his body, but he's telling this story, so he's obviously alive, and so it's really crazy. But when he looked at his body and he saw it all shattered, he was like, okay, well, you're dead. So when you are your soul, you come out of your body. So say, for instance, something happens and you find yourself outside of your body. You can choose to go back in. Like in this time, like if your guys are standing there and they're telling you, no, that was it, you're done, come on, let's go, you've got other things to do, or your family is sitting there waiting for you to meet you and stuff, then you're going into the next realm, you're going into the next thing. So you're just entering another story. So it isn't that you were meant to pop back up, but it is possible. And so if that is what you want to try and do, get back in your body and try and control it. And just keep in mind, any of these people, any of the NDEs that you read when they were in horrible car wrecks, when you go back into your body, it's very painful. A lot of people, as soon as they get back in, they want back out. And so when you go back in, you have to be determined. You have to have it in your conscious thought. Okay, I'm going to live. I'm going to rehab myself. And then the whole purpose of that whole incident was so you could learn that. So you could go back into your body and you could heal it. And that's advanced shit, man. That is advanced shit. Like, I don't know how many people will be doing that, but it would be possible. It will be possible, and we'll probably will see some people do it. And, we're going to see a lot of miracles, a lot of things that we just like, what? Because we're going into this, we've been so formatted, we've been so controlled, and so now we're going to see that it's not. The world isn't controlled like that. The world is it is very controlled on one aspect, because you can't go off of the fabric. You can't change the design. It is a set design, but it is control has to do with, man, that's fucking burping. Control has to do with the trying to make things happen for yourself instead of just relaxing and letting things play out. and letting life happen for you. Instead, you're trying to control it. And so, anyways, if, let me think. So if you, man, it's got to, something just like popped in. It's so crazy how something can just, a thought can come in and hit into this other where you're on this, I don't know, a channel or something. And then it hits into it and it can just blast it. It's like, what the hell was I talking about? I have no idea. Anyways, I've been talking a long time, and Stella did calm back down, go back to sleep. So, but I do have to mess with her. And I have been trying to also learn how to crochet these granny squares. I swear to God, I spent like 2 days trying to make this fucking magic circle. It was so hard. I have crochet. I don't think, like when my kids all, just make this, like they think like I'm an expert at all these things. I have to go in and learn this shit. I have to go in and do it and do it and do it and learn it and learn it and learn it. I've been working on this for days and days and days. And I mean, I've made progress, but I still, I'm far from have made it a complete hatch yet. And so anyways, I'm working on that kind of stuff, but there's just something energetically that just feels weird. Like I'll just find myself just up, walk to the kitchen, walk to the chair, walk to the bathroom, walk back here, walk over there, and just like, what am I doing? What is going on? Like it just is weird. And then I'll start interacting, like I'll be interacting with Stella and I'll feel like I'm in a movie. It's like, this is so strange. So whatever strange shit is happening, just don't feel like you're going crazy. Don't feel like anything is wrong with you. This is all for you to gain conscious control of your conscious mind. And, and then you can go anywhere from there, because really you are just a brain up here talking. So, and I really don't think your legs are there unless you're paying attention. Oh, but when that girl said that, so that really threw me, because I was like, okay, yeah. So, but that went right back to the other stuff that I keep asking. I'm like, how do we get affected by stuff? Like when we're not really here. And so I was sitting here, Stella was there. Now she's over on her bed. But so it was right when I was fixing to start doing the recording. So I was sitting here, and trying to get comfortable. And she was laying there, and I didn't realize like that she was as close as she was. So I started to put my foot down, and she jumped up, and like she felt my foot hit into her or something, and barely tap. I mean, it wasn't like I kicked in. It was like a very gentle thing, and but it surprised me. And so then I was like, oh. So it's the energy. So my energy, in my energy thought, okay, I'm going to get up. I'm going to move. I've got to move my leg in order to move. So my leg will go down. But my energy was what went down and hit into her, which caused her to turn and look. So that is how I think it works. Because, we're not really here. We're just not. We're like a hologram. It is, it has to do with matter and all of that stuff. So, and density and frequency and vibration. But as we raise, we're not really here. And as we raise, we realize we're not really here. And so that is when, as you raise, you realize, well, if I'm not really here and I can do all this, I can do even more. I can be roadkill. I can just stand up and go, hey, I'm not dead. And you can use your mind to heal yourself. You can be overwhelmed by how much it's going to hurt from the injuries, but you can start healing yourself with your mind. Just like that one guy who came and kept trying to go and talk to the government, and they're cutting him up and shit. And then the last time when he showed up and he went in and he was all put back together, and they freaked out. Like they really freaked out. And he said, don't worry, I'm not coming back. You obviously don't want my information. You don't want things to be better and stuff like that. And, but see, that is where we can get to. And same thing with Saint Germain. Go read stuff about his stuff. And you know, it was like he kept being there. He kept either he wasn't dying or he was being reborn as the same person. So there's a whole weird shit with the Saint Germain stuff. So, anyways, you know, I just know that we have these abilities. You know, another thing too, I'll just say this real quick too, because there's some, you know, a lot of people talking about Tartaria, the orphan trains and stuff like that. And, you know, how I feel about where white people came from. But these people who are like all these white kids out here on these orphan trains, like, where's all their parents? And all these other people are putting it together is that's when Tartaria went down, and they took everybody who could remember and put them in insane asylums and stole their kids, and then sent those to farms in Kansas and stuff to be slave labor. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of people in insane asylum, but that would be a lot. You need a lot for how many orphans there were. Like, I don't know. I still am. I'm on the Cabbage Patch. You know, I'm way more about they grew a bunch of kids. They were farming children. You know, they're still doing that. And no, I still 100% like these people who are out there. You know, where's the missing kids? Where's the missing kids? Go to McDonald's. You'll find them. Just take somebody, you know, gather some burgers, take them down to the labs, do some DNA. You'll find them. It's like, you know, some fucking bullshit, man. Yeah. So, anyways, you know, just yeah, keep working on you and keep trying to remember like it's all a movie, and yeah, people come in and play some singing parts because you know there's different parts to be played. So just don't get too hung up or caught up, and don't be too scared. And you know, I think they're not just telling me. I think it is for a lot of people. If something goes down and it's not for you, it's not going to happen to you. So, you know, if the whole town blows down, but you've already gone through your awakening and they're all there to awaken, then the whole town can blow down every one of their houses and yours can still be standing there. Yours will only go if you feel like it needs to go. If there's something you need to learn, you need to be a part of it or whatever. It's coming from inside of you. So, anyways, it's more and more about learning how to separate, not separate it in the love and light. Put your head in the sand. You got to see the stuff. That is the exercise program. So you need to see the stuff to experience it to grow. So you know that's part of the program. So, anyways, I've really been talking a long time. Hopefully, I said something to help somebody. You know, and I think everybody is doing good. You know, I think, you know, you got to be proud of yourself, you know, patting yourself on the back a lot more and building yourself up, you know, and there's not going to, you can't depend on anybody else to do it. You got to do it for yourself. You got to champion yourself. So, you know, just spend time championing yourself today and loving yourself and being proud of yourself. This is a lot to go through, and we have a lot more trauma to go. So, you know, just take care of yourself and stay safe. And, you know, if you're in a condensed city population area, make sure that you do have some routes, that you are figuring out how you're going to get out of there if shit goes down. And do not go to the interstates, you know, figure out back roads and ways, you know, where you're going to head to, and have more than one, because it can have one place that is, you know, a mess. And so have more than one place that you are thinking, and then be prepared, you know, like a tent or something, so that you can just stay out there and find other people to gather with. You know, remember these caravans of these people. Those people walked 1,000 miles or something. Oh my God, and there's horrible footage of that shit right now too. God damn. Just down there fucking making deals, these fucking coyote motherfuckers. And then on the ground next to him, so fucking sick. These fucking little fucking kids. Taped mouths and shit. Like, and they drug them. And oh God, I cannot wait until this is fucking, cannot wait. I do think we're, you know, I think we're at the end of that part, but we still got a lot more to go, you know. So anyways, just, you know, keep yourself sane and have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.